Todd, this meal has been exquisite, wouldn't you agree?
My taste buds have been sounding a motherfucking symphony.
I mean, the decor is a bit dingy, but at least the food is excellent. No, Todd, we've been wined and dined with the finest in fast food and limited edition Oreos. What's the name of this fucking place?
Grab my phone and take a look. Nerd Bourbon Eats. Welcome back to Nerd Bourbon Eats.
You gonna do? I asked Todd to intro this episode, and I didn't realize it was gonna be like a fucking book reading or something.
It's exactly what it'll be.
Hello and welcome to a very sophisticated episode of Nerd Bourbon Eats.
It's exactly. With your hosts, the Sturgill Boys.
The Sturgill Boys and their prerequisite fat stomachs.
Oh, some real shit.
Sit here and you just hear us rubbing our fucking bellies.
Now, I'm gonna get us started with the first food item of the day.
Get me started, Daddy.
It is actually Hershey's Gold, and I like it way more than you.
Yeah.
But because it's actually become my favorite Hershey's bar.
That's interesting to me. When you told me that, I was like, damn, really?
I'm surprised about it. I'm kind of surprised my damn self, honestly. Because cookies and cream was up there for a long time for me.
Yeah.
And then if you can hear that,
Good trigger our ASMR listeners.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a weird thing. I'm not that big into caramel.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just the combination of the caramel, the pretzels, and the fucking the peanuts and pretzels and shit. I love it.
To me, it's got I respect Hershey's Gold a great deal because I like that it's the interesting thing about Hershey's as a company is that they don't put out that much shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, right? There's the standard milk chocolate Hershey bar. There's a dark chocolate Hershey bar. There's Hershey's with almonds. There's cookies and cream. And now there's this. I think, unless I'm forgetting something, I think that's it.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
For the standard, and every now and then they do the limited time, they put out the the peppermint bark and stuff like that. But
yeah,
for the core Hershey bar experience, there are only 5 different kinds. So I respect that it's taken them kind of this long to work a new one into the fold, and that is Hershey's Gold. Now, do I think it's bad? No, I like it. It's not something that I would get all the time. It's one of those things where if I find myself with a craving for it, I would get it. It's something I could find myself craving every now and then. It almost reads almost like a peanut brittle kind of thing to me.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, it just and that's how I am with peanut brittle. Every now and then I want a good peanut brittle, but It is obviously softer because it is the caramelized cream, or isn't that what they call it? Caramelized cream.
Yeah, it's caramelized cream. It's
right.
Actually I think it's the first Hershey's bar that's not chocolate.
Right. So, I mean, which is interesting. It's a very interesting bar, and I like the way that they have the when you look at the bar. I like the way that they're laid out differently and stuff, and it kind of has a patchwork pattern and stuff like that. I respect it. I mean, it's and I like the saltiness that the pretzels bring. It's a well-engineered candy bar.
I think this. I think it's the saltiness that really elevates the bar for me personally. I love it.
Salty sweet is something that I've come to really like the older I get. There's a movie theater that I really love in Seattle, and there's a few of them, but it's called Cinerama. Huge. Single screen movie theater that is ran by this wealthy nerd basically who has all of this expensive movie and TV memorabilia that he just puts up. It's almost like a little mini museum in the front lobby. and then it's also a really huge single screen theater, and it's gorgeous theater. I love it. But they have over there, you can get chocolate popcorn, and you can mix chocolate and regular popcorn for that like salty sweet. Oh, it's so good.
See, I've never had chocolate covered popcorn or chocolate popcorn,
God.
but I know it would be good. I know it in my heart.
It's so good. It's like, it's one of those things where like we'll get a bag of mixed chocolate and regular salty popcorn, and then we'll get another one before we leave just to like snack on. It's so good. That's a little off track. The point is, Hershey's Gold, it does that salty sweet combination thing really well. But I think really it's the peanuts and the caramelized cream side of it that I'm not super duper crazy about. Like I think it's good, but
would you like it more if it was like just like a Hershey's like chocolate bar with like
I think so.
With the pretzels?
Yeah, I think I would.
I see. I respect that. I do. But I don't know. I like that they kind of like went completely like off the wall with it and like didn't even do a chocolate bar.
The reason I think they did it that way is because there's a bar. Let me just Google this real quick to make sure. But there's a candy bar called, I think, Take 5. Yeah. Take 5 is essentially that almost, because Take 5 it's got 5 ingredients. It's pretzel, caramel, peanut, milk chocolate, and peanut butter.
Yep.
So with the exception of having peanut butter. With the exception of having peanut butter, that if Hershey's Gold was a chocolate bar, it would basically be a Take 5 bar. You know.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why they went that route. They wanted to seem different. And I respect it, you know. I do respect the shit out of Hershey's Gold. For what it is. But it's not my favorite, but I'm glad that you've fallen in love with it.
Oh, dude, I always have at least like one in the house. Always.
I mean, it's here to stay. I mean, that is Hershey's new thing, you know. So,
and I'll be able to enjoy it for the rest of my life.
I want to segue here. We just recently celebrated Easter. I guess, man, didn't really celebrate it, but Easter was a thing that happened. And one of the things, I guess we'll start talking about this by talking about another thing. One of the things that comes with Easter is the little marshmallow abominations known as Peeps.
That's definitely a good way of calling. That is like the most perfect name for them.
I fucking hate Peeps.
Here's the thing. I'm not big on marshmallows in general. Peeps are just the purest form of my hatred, though.
Like, I'm okay with marshmallows, but to me, marshmallows, like, I don't usually just eat a marshmallow unless it's like a roasted marshmallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I like marshmallows, like, as a compliment to something, like a sweet potato pie or, like, hot chocolate or something like that. But Peeps, man, it's that fucking sugar and, like, the way that they, like, seem to... You can't really, like, kill a Peep. And if you do, like, 2 more take its place. Like... You stretch it and just fucking, like, you, like, try to murder it, but try as you might, you can't break through to its black heart.
Bro, you're, like, making me, like, just, like, you're, like, fucking with my stomach right now. I hate it.
But, however, they got to me. Whatever company it is that makes Peeps, they got to me because I was going down the Oreo cookie aisle, as I do every time I go to the grocery store.
So what, you liked it?
Well, here's the deal. So, they got me because I was looking at the Oreos, and I always peruse to see if there's any new limited edition Oreos, and I kind of keep my finger on the pulse, or I try to, in the Oreo scene with other Oreos, and the limited edition Peeps were there, the Peep Oreos, and I was like, oh my god, these motherfuckers got me. They know I gotta buy this and try it. So I get it home and I try it. And I was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting. Because I was like, how are they going to make an Oreo taste like shit? Basically. But it doesn't really taste... Look, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you said it before. Like, you don't really marshmallows as a compliment. So basically, like the
Right.
Oreo cookie is getting complimented by garbage. So it might not be that bad.
So I'll tell you what it ends up tasting like. So yeah, like the cream tastes like just straight up marshmallow. And when you're eating it
Okay.
with the Oreo chocolate cookie, it winds up tasting like a Count Chocula or something like that.
Okay.
Like a chocolate and marshmallow based cereal or something.
Okay.
And it's not terrible. Like it's not something I would get again, but I mean I wound up eating the box. Like, it's not I've managed to stomach the entire thing. Like it's not a total like slight against God and man. Um I don't
Like
know.
regular peeps are.
Exactly. Like I like them. Like it is a huge step above regular peeps. So they're not terrible. I don't think I'll ever get them again, but they're not as bad as I thought. So that's sort of how I feel about Peeps and Peeps Oreos. I don't know that you need to go and knock it out. Now we're a little late to the game on this next talking point we've got here, but it's culturally a big enough deal that I feel like we have to touch on it. On Eats, I feel like we wouldn't be doing our due diligence if we didn't touch on this. Let me get the preamble out of the way. So, McDonald's Szechuan sauce. If you're listening to this, you more than likely already know what the deal is with this. It was in the season, I think 3 premiere of Rick and Morty. The premiere episode, like there's a gag where Rick like wants to go back in time to the 90s where they had a Szechuan sauce promotion at McDonald's to go along with the release of Mulan, and Rick thinks it's like the most amazing chicken nugget sauce in the world and blah blah blah. And this spawned like a huge fan reaction to like McDonald's to bring back the Szechuan sauce. And then eventually they did, like the following, I think October, and they put like they're idiots. McDonald's didn't like think that people actually wanted it for whatever reason. They gave each store like 10 packets of fucking Szechuan sauce. And people came out in droves trying to get this shit, and McDonald's could not meet demand. So McDonald's fucked up. So what they did was they made more, and they made plenty and sent them out to other McDonald's stores in February 2018, which gave us the opportunity to try it. Now, what was your raw take on the Szechuan sauce?
Okay. I liked it. I mean, it's not my like favorite nugget sauce, but it's good. It's because I think you even said like it reminds you more of like a hoisin sauce.
Right.
But like it was like when I first tried it, I was like, it's like pretty. It's like it's got like a soy sauce base and all that shit, and I mean it's good.
Yeah, it's got that soy sauce. It tastes like, to me, it basically tastes exactly like if you've ever had, like a soy sauce based kind of like stir fry sauce.
Yeah.
Or hoisin sauce. That's basically exactly what it is. It's got like, some black pepper and stuff in there. You can see it like floating around in there. And yeah, I like it. I don't know if it was worthy of the hype. I don't think any sauce that they could have put out,
Yeah. That's some real shit. Like that entire situation just like overhyped the living shit out of it. So I was like, again, it's a good sauce. It's just it's not. After I had it, I was like, I'm kind of good.
The build up to it was more interesting than the sauce itself. Because like it started with that episode of Rick and Morty, and then everybody, the build up began, and then like once it became a rarity kind of thing, it got even more hyped, And then once you finally have it, you're just like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not a bad sauce. But I can, I could have went my entire life actually like never having it.
Yeah, I could have too. I'll say this: I do kind of wish that it stuck around. Like, it would be nice to have that as an option.
Yeah, I feel that. But it's just like for me personally, it's like I don't know why I would ever like go for Szechuan sauce when I can just get sweet and sour.
I think that's ultimately kind of what they did. Is I think they basically replaced Szechuan sauce with sweet and sour.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with that, but yeah, I I do kind of wish that. I do kind of wish, I guess, that Szechuan sauce was there as like an option where, like, every now and then, whenever I'm getting some chicken nuggets, like, yeah, maybe do Szechuan sauce this time, you know?
Yeah.
I thought they were pretty good, and I wish that it was like a permanent menu item, but I can see why. It seems like it has a lot of ingredients, and maybe that was what was unattractive about it to McDonald's. Maybe it was more expensive to produce than the other sauces.
Some real shit.
I think the Szechuan sauce is actually the most like ingredient intensive McNugget sauce that they have. So maybe that's why they ended up kind of steering clear of it. Moving on to a wildly different direction. This is something that you and I have been talking about a lot recently. So what comes with the kind of early spring season, one of the things that always comes around is the those adorable Girl Scouts, right? And we have to do our due diligence on Nerd Bourbon Eats and discuss Girl Scout cookies. And I sort of feel like Girl Scout cookies could have been their own episode, like on some real shit.
Yeah.
And maybe we will do an episode where we like rank the Girl Scout cookies, because I feel like that could easily be its own episode.
And I think our list would be vastly different.
I think so too. But I do want to just give our generalized thoughts. Not necessarily rank the Girl Scout cookies, because I think that might be something we touch on later. But I do want to give like kind of our thoughts on Girl Scout cookies. Like what how do you feel about them? What are like some of your favorites?
For me, I'm gonna just say it. Like my number one Girl Scout cookie, you already know what the fuck it is.
Oh yeah.
I killed a fucking package of the fake ones just recently.
Oh yes.
Tagalongs. Tagalongs are my shit. Or it's tagalongs or peanut butter patties, depending on where you're at.
Right.
In the U.S. or whatever. But I love the shit out of them. I've loved them for years, and I've always, whenever a package enters my house, enters my presence, it's gone.
I fucking that's so. My favorite is Samoas. Always has been, always will be. I love Thin Mints. I love Tagalongs, but Samoas, like, yeah, when like you said, when a box of Samoas enters my house, I stalk it like a lion on the fucking savannah.
Yes.
Like a lion on the savannah who has just caught sight of a zebra. Todd, that's how I am with these Samoas. Like, I can't even, like, help myself around Samoas. Like, it has this weird quality to it. There are not many foods to which I am like that. Like, there is something about these fucking Samoas where, like, I just can't, like, I can't control myself. Like, if I open a box of Samoas, that box is not seeing the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the more interesting thing to talk about here, and I want to shelve the actual official Girl Scout cookies, because that's a topic I want to touch on later. But I think the more interesting thing to talk about here is the knockoff brands. Because you and I have actually been kind of resorting to knockoff brands.
Yeah.
Of these Girl Scout cookies, because people have tried to basically replicate and straight up copy, honestly, the Girl Scout cookies.
I've had Aldi's brand of Tagalongs, and I've had Walmart's brand of Tagalongs, and they're similar. They are similar, but they actually do things a little differently.
Right.
Like shit. One, I forget exactly which one it is, but one of them, like the chocolate, is like more of it's a little denser to bite into.
Ooh, I would probably like that.
Yeah, I forget which one it is, but the peanut butter is like weaker on it, and then it's the other one is like the chocolate's like you kind of slide right through it. The peanut butter's better though. It's like I think I said it after I tried both of them. Like, if I fused you two together, you'd be perfect.
If you had that good dense chocolate with the good peanut butter.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just a big fan of just peanut butter and chocolate together.
Oh, you can't beat it.
Yeah, it's like the best combination.
You can't fucking beat it. It is unbeatable, that combination. Yeah. So I tried knockoff Samoas. Like, I tried Keebler actually makes a knockoff Samoa.
Okay.
I think they're called like Coconut Dreams or some shit.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
And like they're good, right? Like the thing that I do like about Coconut Dreams versus Samoas is the Coconut Dreams are bigger. So they're actually like Samoas are these little tiny like pieces of shit, and Coconut Dreams are probably literally twice the size of the Samoa, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Which I do enjoy, and I like Keebler cookies in general. They're probably like Oreos will always be king of the cookie world in my eyes, but Keebler's probably a close second because I really like the fudge stripes and the they got the grasshoppers and shit like that.
Let me be real with you. This is off topic, but I can kill the fuck out of some fudge stripes.
Oh yeah, dude, I love fudge stripes. I actually bought a box of those recently, and I literally like started eating them on the drive home.
Yeah, dude, that's some real like, dude. Those are another like sort of like a package of cookies that if they're in my house, they're gone. Like,
and it's funny because I'm not normally a huge like cookie guy, but I gotta admit, like I think I kind of am a fucking cookie guy because like there's something addictive about cookies. Like
oh, dude,
more so
that's
than cake or pie or anything like that. Like I'll just kill some fucking cookies. Like I don't know, but yeah, the Coconut Dreams are like pretty good. They're missing something. Like there is some kind of like secret. I don't know if it's just a placebo kind of thing, but there is something missing. The Coconut Dreams don't taste as like buttery as the Samoas do.
That's actually the same way I feel about like the knockoff tagalongs. Like they're passable.
Yeah.
But I feel like nothing comes close to the original like Girl Scout.
Yeah, like these Coconut Dreams, like the original Samoas from Girl Scouts, like they have just like a buttery kind of note to it that is missing in the Coconut Dreams. However, the Coconut Dreams are like good. Like the Samoas are a 10, Coconut Dreams are like a 7, and a 7, a duplicate kind of like a rip-off of a Samoa is still a pretty decent Samoa, So I gotta shout out and respect the knockoffs for what they are, because it's nice to have those when you can't get a hold of Girl Scout cookies. I'll be real, we missed out on Girl Scout cookies this spring, and it pissed me off because they did not stick around very long in my town this year. Like normally they're around for like a couple weeks. I think they were legit around for like a week this year.
Damn.
And we missed them, like, because I don't have the car during the daytime. Like my fiance and I work opposite schedules, so like she would go by there after she gets off work at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and they're already gone for the day, So yeah, we wound up missing them this year. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys who are ripping them off so that we can have them year round.
Some real shit.
I want to talk about one more thing before we get into our classic review for this episode. I want to talk about Arby's has a new limited time. So they did a couple things recently. There are a couple of new limited time sandwiches that Arby's has done, and then they actually brought back their gyro. And
did they?
They did, yeah. They're doing the gyro again now. And I think the gyros actually come back as a permanent menu item, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
I could be wrong about that. But the interesting thing about their gyro now is before they were using like lamb flavored beef, basically. Now they're saying it's real lamb. So I recently
fucking better with their little tagline. We got the meats.
Yeah, they're saying this is legit. This is a legit thing now. Now I tried both of these. I tried the other two they have like a Texas brisket sandwich,
and then they got a Reuben, I think.
Well, yeah, they have a Reuben, but they also have the Miami Cuban.
See, I haven't been to Arby's, but I really wanted to try it, so I'm actually looking forward to how you're gonna.
So I tried.
Continue.
I got both the. I want to try their Reuben and I want to try the Texas brisket next, but I did try the new gyro and I tried the Cuban. Now, the new gyro is actually pretty fucking good. Like, it's nothing. I mean, it's not even close to what you can get up there. Like you can easily get a good gyro because you live up north, but down south,
I can get a good fucking gyro like a block away.
Right. Down south, like nobody does gyros like they do up north. So it's a pretty good for people that if you can't get a good gyro where you are, Arby's gyro is like a pretty decent, duplication of it. Like I'll say this, their tzatziki's a little weak. The meat is good. You can tell that it's lamb now. Like you can tell that it's authentic meat now. And really though,
tell me why the sauce is weak.
It's just,
is it not enough cucumber?
Yeah, it's just not cucumbery enough for me. Like,
yeah, I feel it.
Like I like my tzatziki sauce to have a really strong cucumber flavor.
This is actually another thing I have with it. I like a certain level of denseness to my sauce.
Right.
Is it too creamy?
No, it's not too creamy. I think the texture of it, I think, is fine.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. Sometimes you get a gyro and it's like fucking like dripping out and it's like watery, you know? I don't want that. Like,
yeah, I don't want that either.
This has the texture of like mayonnaise, basically.
Okay, that's a fair texture for a sauce.
But yeah, like the problem I always have is it's either like I don't know exactly what goes into tzatziki, but I feel like it's got like a horseradish kind of thing going on. Because like sometimes I'll get tzatziki that has a really strong like note to it, and then but that's usually cut by the freshness of the cucumber flavor. But sometimes you get that tzatziki like this, the cucumber flavor is not strong enough, and it ends up tasting like a lightly cucumbered flavored like horseradish sauce or something. Which is fine, but it's not the traditional tzatziki. Now, what I will shout them out for, I really like their pita bread that they use.
Okay.
It's got like a kind of like, it's like a whole grain kind of pita bread. It's got a light, fluffy, but kind of still hearty texture. And I really enjoy it. So it's a good gyro. It's a good kind of a next step if you don't have a good gyro place by you. Now, I'll say this. One thing I want to try, another new menu item that they've added is the loaded gyro fries. So it's curly fries, but with gyro meat and tzatziki sauce and toppings and shit like that.
You just got me real hungry right now.
I'm very intrigued by that. I want to try that next time we go. And yeah, I don't eat Arby's very often, but these new menu items were enough to make me want to go. Now, the Cuban, okay? The Cuban might be my favorite sandwich. Like a Miami like style Cuban may be my favorite sandwich, period. It's either that or a Reuben. A traditional Cuban is kind of a grilled, kind of flatbread, almost like a panini kind of style, a crusty, grilled, very flat, with pork, usually a slice of like pork belly, kind of cured pork belly. It's got to have pickles. It's got to have mustard, and it's got to have the cheese. And that really, to me, are the core ingredients of the Cuban. Arby's has all of those things, and all of those ingredients work well. Those are all present in their Cuban. The one thing that I didn't like about it was the bread, and maybe I just got kind of a bad batch of bread or something like that. It was like hard to get through. It was like I'm sitting there like fighting to like take a bite out of this bread type shit, you know?
Okay. Like, what it like? How so exactly? Like, is it just like too hard?
Just too much chew to it.
Too much chew to it. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like rock solid or anything like that. But you're just like having to like, you kind of like pulling the sandwich away, trying to like fucking tug on it like you're a dog or something. You know, just too much chew going on. And I don't know if that's how the bread just is. Like, if that's just how their Cuban bread is, or if I just got an old batch of bread or something like that. But I'll give them this. The cured pork belly that they put on there was fucking delicious. Like, I got to give it to Arby's. Like, they've really stepped up their... I mean, they do. There's a reason that's their new slogan, right? They do got the meats. Like, their meat game has been, like, significantly stepped up here recently.
Oh, definitely.
I really enjoyed that fucking... that pork belly sandwich. That barbecue pork belly sandwich. Holy shit. That shit was sinful. I mean, it was so good. So I got to give them that. And I do want to try that Texas brisket because they claim that brisket is like smoked for 12 hours or some shit.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm really curious to try that out. But Arby's, shout out to Arby's. They've really stepped up their game. And don't even get me started on their marketing team.
That's some real shit right there.
Let's wrap up this episode of Eats by doing our classic review of the show. Our classic review this time around, which we literally just decided like minutes before we started recording. Our classic review this time around is actually going to be Beefy Crunch Burrito from Taco Bell. I want your thoughts before I get into the story behind this Beefy Crunch Burrito.
When was the last time that was a thing?
The Beefy Crunch Burrito, I think the last time that was around was like 2 years ago.
Shit.
If not longer.
Sounds about right. That sounds about right on some real shit. But yeah, it's honestly it was like one of my favorite like menu items.
It was straight up my favorite menu item. I
love that shit. Like it's so good.
Yeah, so for those that don't know the ingredients of a Beefy Crunch Burrito, so it's beef, it's nacho cheese, that kind of melty cheese, it's rice, sour cream, and flaming hot Fritos.
And it's all you need.
And I get mine without sour cream because I don't like sour cream, but
you gotta ruin a good thing. No, I'm just playing.
But I do. I get it without sour cream. Okay.
I could talk shit, but I understand. There's like sour cream's one of those things that like you either like it or you don't.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Beefy Crunch Burrito. It was a definite go-to for me. Like that there's just something. Those Fritos really add something. And now they have the red chips and shit like that now. And then like for 99 cents, are you fucking kidding me? Like so good. But yeah, they have the red chips and stuff now, but it's not the same because the Flamin' Hot Fritos really kind of brought that extra little bit that it needed, And I do. I miss the Beefy Crunch Burrito in a big bad way. For my money, maybe the best Taco Bell menu item they've ever had. Like, I might go that far. Because I like rice in my burritos. Rice, I think, is an underrated ingredient in a burrito. Gives it a little more weight.
It's something actually that I do when we have like tacos or something like at home.
Right.
If usually rice is made, I'll put the rice on my taco.
Yeah.
Like it's just something I do. I enjoy it.
Just makes it a little more filling, like just a little extra something to add to it.
Yeah.
And I love that in my burrito. Just gives it that extra like thickness and that Beefy Crunch Burrito had it all. And I miss it dearly. Now here's the interesting thing. And I had heard about this kind of in a precursory way because, my fiance, I've said this before on previous episodes, restaurant general manager for Taco Bell, has been for years. She recently told me that like, hey, like there's rumors that the Beefy Crunch Burrito might be coming back in some capacity. Don't get your hopes up, but like those rumors have been kind of floating around. I was like, all right, whatever. When I Googled, because when we decided that we wanted this to be our kind of classic review of the show, I Googled the Beefy Crunch Burrito just to kind of get my facts straight on the ingredients and stuff like that. So I Google it, and when you Google Beefy Crunch Burrito, the first result is a Facebook page called the Beefy Crunch Movement. This is a literal cult following for the Beefy Crunch Burrito that has 68,000 likes on Facebook. And here's the interesting thing. I said, okay, I gotta see what the fuck's up with this Facebook page. If it's got this many likes, it's gotta be legit. Taco Bell actually contacted them and put a post on this Facebook page.
Shit, what?
And they made a statement, and I want to read it. Dear Beefy Crunch Movement, when we say that there are no other fans like you, we mean it. You truly are the most passionate and dedicated community of burrito lovers a brand could ever ask for. It's because of that passion, we want to make sure we provide updates around the beloved burrito with as much transparency as possible. Bringing back the Beefy Crunch Burrito is not an easy task, but we've been trying to figure it out, and we're close. Real close. So close, we'll be testing a solution to bring it back permanently for 2019. The test, beginning April 5th, will be taking place in 30 Chattanooga restaurants throughout mid-July. This is not a promotional roller coaster. This is a true regional test that will determine the fate of the Beefy Crunch Burrito nationwide. You may be asking yourself, why test a product that's already been on the menu? The answer is simply, we'll have to make changes to the menu to justify the return of this, and this test will measure the success of that decision. So iron the flags, show off those tattoos, and start planning some road trips, because this is your opportunity to impact the future.
Are there motherfuckers with tattoos?
Oh, dude, this is a movement. The Beefy Crunch Burrito is a fucking thing. So iron the flags, show off those tattoos, and start planning some road trips, because this is your opportunity to impact the future of the BCB. Thank you for your dedication, passion, and patience throughout the years. You really are some of the best fans a burrito could ask for. Love, Taco Bell. So if this test goes well this season, starting on the 5th and going through July in 30 restaurants in the Chattanooga area, if this test goes well, then 2019 rolls around, we're getting permanent Beefy Crunch burritos.
Sounds like I'm going to be eating Taco Bell a little more.
And that makes me happy. So
that makes me very happy. Shit.
So it's funny because, like, from my perspective, like hearing this kind of, like I said, precursory knowledge on the side of, like, oh, there's whispers through the fucking council, basically. And then seeing this as I was doing research, and by the way, that was posted less than a day ago. So
damn.
So it's some real shit. Like it's weird. I feel like I've discovered like an underground burrito trade network or something. And I'm just happy to hear that. Beefy Crunch Burrito, you should have never went away. And I'm looking very forward. I hope that this test goes well. I want it back permanently. Now, I hope they don't change too much though. I wonder what they mean by the need to change the formula. I think I
don't know if they're talking about changing the formula or just changing, like, cutting out some menu items from, like, the current menu.
That may be a thing. I don't know. But I know that they have since changed the rice. Since the last time they had the Beefy Crunch Burrito. The rice is different now. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but that's kind of the Beefy Crunch Burrito. That's kind of this episode of Eats. Do you got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good to go.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back for seconds. Bye.
See ya.